We're back with Local 4 News over coffee in downtown Bettendorf, live from the Waterfront Convention Center. We're going to shift gears a little bit this segment and talk about education and crime and policing, but let's go to education because we have certainly seen so much that's happened everywhere in this country when it comes to education, the changes that people have had to make personally in their lives, students being sent home, learning from home. We're talking with Superintendent of Bettendorf School District, Michelle Morris. Great to have you. I guess, how would you describe the impact it's had on education for you and your students? I know it's a mouthful.
It is a big, it has been a lot of change, right? But I think teachers everywhere, including in our district in Bettendorf, have met that challenge with innovation, creativity, compassion, and grace. We have continued to serve our students and provide them with high-quality learning experiences despite these unprecedented times. You know, no, I don't believe any teacher thought they'd ever be teaching in a remote learning world or in a blended model of hybrid learning. But each day, the students and the staff continue to amaze me and inspire me.
How much longer do you expect this current model to continue?
That is a great question. Since we opened in August, our goal has been to come back 100% of the time. We're looking and hopeful with the vaccines coming forward that might help us get to that place sooner. And just continuing to work with our Iowa Department of Public Health and our Scott County Health Department and the medical experts to make sure that when we return 100%, that it's done so that students and staff stay safe. And we continue to provide those learning opportunities. And
we certainly know students learn much better when they have that in-person contact with an adult teacher in the room. And I've read articles that kids are struggling nationally in this environment. Are we worried about there's a risk of students who are graduating who might be unprepared this next year or two?
No, I know there's been a lot of discussion both locally and at the national level. I've chosen to look at this as an opportunity to say, how can we also prepare our students with life skills, perseverance and grit, and how do we respond to challenges? Where's that tenacious spirit, and how do we become critical thinkers? So even whether we're in person with our students or been remote, I know our teachers are continuing to focus on the academics and the social emotional well-being, but we're also using this as an opportunity to help our students think through and problem solve and be critical thinkers so that they are very prepared when they go on to that next chapter of their life.
How is the school district doing financially in all of this?
You know, Bettendorf, we opened the year in a very good place financially. Our solvency rate was at 23%. We have been blessed to receive about $400,000 in federal CARES money to help offset the additional cost for sanitization and cleaning and all of those extra expenses that come with this pandemic. But we are continuing to monitor our budget, but right now we're very strong.
A lot going on, certainly, for schools, not only in Bettendorf, but across the country and across the Quad Cities. We're going to shift over to Police Chief Keith Kimball. Great to talk with you, sir. You know, we've seen so much crime, I guess, in Davenport. There's a lot of gun violence that gets a lot of attention in the news coverage every day. Some of that can spill over into Bettendorf at times. I guess, are you seeing more or less crime in the city limits overall?
So I think overall we're seeing less, but domestic abuse, drug use, thefts related to drug use and drug addiction have gone up, and we've had some incidents that involving coming in over our city too. So,
how much is the cooperation with the other Quad Cities? You know, you're right across the river from Moline, and of course Davenport, your next door neighbor, and LeClaire even, but more or less it's Davenport and Moline. How much is that cooperation crucial to fighting these types of crime?
It's very crucial, and that's one thing in working in the Quad Cities and Quad Cities law enforcement. I don't think there's a better place to be or better place to work with the collaboration and how well all our agencies work together. Even though we have different jurisdictions and we're across state lines, we really come together. We work really together as one, and it's really amazing. There's no no territory, no egos. We all know that we have one mission, and it's to make Quad Cities better. So anyway, any one of our agencies can help each other, we'll do it.
We talked extensively over the last hour about the economic growth in Bettendorf specifically. It's growing as a city economically. We're seeing investment, that sort of thing. And that type of growth brings more people. How much does that create a need for more police officers to handle that type of growth?
Yeah, So with our community, I mean, we're probably one of the communities that is growing more at a pace than others, where others have actually, their populations declined. So we have to prepare for that in the future. And that's one thing about our city council, our mayor, city administration working through, and we've been having discussions anticipating that in the future and working for, for more manpower down the road. But it's something that we have to take a look at here in the future, because we are continuing expanding, and with not only the higher population, having people come from outside the community, tourism, the TBK complex, we're going to get a lot more out-of-town people, where it's going to cause more of a workload, but it has affected us a little bit, call volume, but nothing we can't handle.
Mr. Mayor, you expect to handle adding one or two or more officers?
We just have a couple new officers that are on the force now that we've sworn in, and we will have a plan to continue to add as the need arises. We understand, and City Council clearly understands, that in order to be a healthy and successful city, to continue to grow both in commercial development and residential development the way we are, we have to be safe and we have to have wonderful schools. We're blessed to have great relationships with the superintendents of our school districts and great officers on the street. That will remain a very important part of what makes Bettendorf unique and special.
Bettendorf is certainly a very vibrant city in the Quad Cities. That's going to do it for us on this edition of Local 4 News Over Coffee. A big thanks to Mayor Bob Gallagher, Bettendorf School District Superintendent Michelle Morris, and Police Chief Keith Kimball. Continued success for all of you in these trying times for so many people. Again, that's going to do it for us over here at the Waterfront Convention Center. Sitting back into the studio to Ann Sterling.
All right, Jim, thank you. Coming up next, we hope you stick around. Deputy Dog, the survival skills this pup showed to earn the